Yep. Good evening. This is the Marshfield Board of Public Works meeting for Monday, October 3rd, 2022. It is now 6:04. We have not had Mr. Shaughnessy, but he is going to be attending, but we'll start without him.
Always late.
Yeah, we have the following on our agenda. Action items are award sand contract. Second action item is to award the salt contract. Third action item is the Willow Street additional design. Fourth action item is the extension of the Bay Avenue contract for 532 Ocean Street emergency revetment care. We have discussion regarding, oh, there he is, just arrived. We have discussion regarding recycling of lithium batteries, ion batteries, indirect costs, methodology changes. Then we have minutes from August 8th, 2022 for acceptance and review and acceptance. Superintendent's report, and then we are going to enter executive session to discuss a pending litigation by the town of Marshfield. And do I have any questions on the agenda?
Next meeting, October 17th.
I'm sorry, the next meeting will be scheduled for October 17th, 2022, which I believe is the date of the town meeting, right?
No.
No, it is not?
The
Yeah.
24th is.
No, the
No, the
17th.
17th is the
It
STM.
is? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's okay.
17th town meeting.
second.
Early
All in
this
favor of accepting the agenda as written?
Aye.
year.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, glad you-
All right. Tom, I assume you are handling the salt contract since you were
Yes.
the signee on that?
Yes, this is September 22nd, 2022, the town of Plymouth accepted the regional road sand bids. The bid number is 22213. The road sand lowest bid for our town was $17.94 per ton by G. Lopes Construction, Inc. Attached are the bid results for your review. I recommend that G. Lopes Construction be awarded the sand contract for Marshfield. I'd like to, I'll leave the motion to one of the commissioners.
I'll second. Discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to give Bob a chance to catch up. I read through it, and I'm satisfied, that it is a good contract. Lopes has performed well in the past, so I can't think of any reason to say no, so. I will,
Tom, you
Take
know where,
it.
oh, go ahead.
you have a question?
My question is, where did they get the sand?
From the sand pile.
They get the sand, well, Lopes has their own
Yeah,
pits. They have a sand pit.
The Marshall sand pit?
No, it's not
Oh,
Marshall.
it's off Marshall.
yeah, it's outside of town, yeah.
The only reason I would say that is because there's issues with removing material from the town of Marshall.
Right.
That's all I was asking.
Isn't he, he's in Plimpton, I think, isn't he, Tom?
Lopes is in
He's
Taunton.
depositing it.
I'm sorry, Taunton?
Lopes is in Taunton.
Taunton, okay, yep. All right, so, John, you seconded the
Yeah.
motion, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, John, it was removing it from the town
Yeah.
versus putting it in. That was my issue.
I thought you
Okay,
said-
and then the next one is the road salt bid, Tom,
Yeah,
that's you
the
again.
road salt again was on the 22nd of September 22. The town of Plymouth accepted regional road salt bids. Number 22212, the road salt lowest bid was awarded to Morton Salt Inc. at $67.48 per ton.
Hey, it works for me, because when it rains, it pours.
And it rains, it pours.
It shows my age, doesn't it? I have read through this, and I'm okay with it.
I am too.
Okay, I will second the motion for Morton Salt, as they are the low bid. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Yeah, Morton Salt is also out of Taunton.
yeah. Okay.
So, Tom, do they ship that in and they just add
That
a
comes
cost to it?
that
Add a
comes
cost?
in on rail.
Yeah,
Yeah, from where?
It comes in Maine, it comes in Chelsea by ship.
yep,
Yeah, but it
And
comes
then,
in,
but in Chelsea, it's trucked out.
yeah.
In Taunton, it's brought in by rail.
yeah. But it's coming from overseas somewhere?
Probably, most
Yeah,
likely,
yeah, and
South
then-
America or.
Basically, they do a markup on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's actually down a little from previous years, I think.
Well, we didn't use as much last year, so
Right.
it's probably a whole bunch of residual cargo kicking around. Okay, the next item is the Willow Street additional design that you're passing out, Rod?
Yeah,
Okay,
I took this late.
Thanks, Rod.
thank you. All right, we'll give it a quick read. Okay.
I get you one.
I'm going to read this for the public. Additional design work is required to advance the design for the Willow Street Bridge replacement currently at preliminary design, and to accommodate a wider and longer bridge. Land may need to be taken, which will require preparation of a taking bit plan. The layout of the Willow Street is written form, and plans need to be produced for the town meeting approval. BSC Group will conduct research survey to establish the taking plan necessary to construct the new bridge. The estimated cost for the service is $21,000, and the BSC proposal is attached. We have a current contract amount of $72,300, and with the amendment, we will now be up to $193,500. Fund is available from Chapter 90, 50K to cover the 21,200 addition. And staff recommends the advanced design to become shovel-ready. Project approval will be required by the state MassDOT. And we are also receiving funding from MassDOT, are we not, Tom, on that? From the bridge?
Well, we're doing some of the work under Chapter 90 funding.
Okay,
We received 100,000 and we spent that on the preliminary design.
okay, yep, all right. So,
But the final design
Final design, we
and
have.
the construction will be performed by the state.
We'll apply for the small bridge program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a $2 million bridge, construction cost, more or less. I mean, now, who knows, but the cost is just skyrocketing. But we still have some design, final design to do. But the next step, we need to establish where the layout is. It's an old written layout, and it's gotta be interpreted, and we gotta go out and hit the bounds and find out how much, where it is, and how much we
Land
have
taking,
to
actually
do.
take.
In terms of takings, if we have to do any takings. I think we do, because the bridge's gonna be a little bit wider, and it's gonna be a little bit longer.
Under the final design, I mean, I have seen this, I don't support it per se. I'd rather see the bridge width consistent and the roadway subsequent to it consistent, but I have, particularly up country, when you get up to New Hampshire and Maine, it's not unusual to find either you narrowed down for the bridge crossing itself, you know, and then you widen out, or the reverse is also true. I've seen up on the west side of Sebago, where the bridge is wide and the road entering and exiting is narrow.
So the road will still have the two-way lanes
Mhm.
for emergency purposes.
Yep.
It'll be a one-way street, but when you have those times where you need to go two-way or reverse
Yeah, well, it's
direction, or
one way now,
whatever,
yeah.
you'll be able to accommodate those changes. There will be a sidewalk. Right now, there is no sidewalk.
No, there's no sidewalk.
So the sidewalk will add a little width to it.
Yep.
Which will be approximately 5 feet wide, maybe a little bit more for structure.
That's the only questions or comments I had. Mr. Cusick, any?
No, I'm fine with it, it's something.
Bob,
we
your turn.
need- Something we need to do.
Absolutely.
Done.
Bob?
Are they gonna raise it?
It's gonna be raised.
It's gonna be higher, so that the road doesn't go down, it'll be
Well,
more of a better
no, you'll
slope?
still go down because it's a significant drop from Ocean Street, but
Yeah.
it's gonna accommodate, the predicted sea
Level rises when you have high tides.
Yeah, okay,
Rain
that
events.
was my concern.
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
The motion is to authorize amendment number 4 to contract 2019-08 Willow Street Bridge design with BSC Group, Boston, Mass, in the amount of $21,200 to survey and prepare taking plan for the replacement bridge on Willow Street. And the chairman or designee is authorized to sign the amendment when the documents are prepared. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And you got the next one, Rod, right?
The next one was some emergency repair work required. I've called several times and emailed about the condition behind 532 Ocean Street. that's the house that's probably the closest to the edge of the revetment slope.
Yep.
And they get constant hammering. It's also a place where the land kind of, there's like an angle point there where the northeast seas come up, they run along it, and then they hit that spot and change direction there. And it's constantly washing out and washing over and taking out some of their land. There's only about 10 feet between their house and the edge, so they're quite concerned. There's some poles that have developed, and I need to get the excavator from the beach in there and up in position so that we can position more rocks up there. And it's gonna take a ramp to be constructed to do that. So I got an estimate from Northern. I've kept their contract open for this purpose. And there is approximately $160,000 available in the original authorization to do the Ocean Bluff repairs. And their estimate came in, it was for 120 hours worth of work with trucks and manpower at 163. So I'm gonna ask the board to authorize 160,000 because that's what we think we have left.
Just, I don't know, did you have the opportunity to see this in email, John?
So,
Bob, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, this was there.
I can get it.
I couldn't get there, I couldn't download the,
Here, I got it in readable
so I
size.
ended up sending
Yeah,
it to
it's all
you.
right.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
As you're comfortable.
find it pretty quick.
Yeah. I had read through this and I actually replied to Rod's email indicating that, I was satisfied with what he presented.
We've actually mobilized, we had talked earlier, this is more of a ratification.
Yeah, this is,
Because of-
confirm and ratify. I think we discussed this at the
Yeah.
last meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that,
Yeah.
the excavators in place, the tonnage is down at the parking lot, so.
Right, and rocks have been delivered
Yeah.
to the beach, some of them.
Oh, they've been?
Yeah,
Okay.
we started on Friday.
Did you have any questions, Bob?
No, I think it's, the
Is
sea
that
is coming
Stella-
in.
Stella Maris in,
It's near Stella Maris. It's the 532, I think is what, like two
It's the
houses
house-
away?
that's
It's
Megan Lane.
Megan and Kelly
Yeah.
McDonald,
Yeah,
right in there is where
Yeah.
the
I know what it is.
issue is.
Okay. The motion is to authorize change order number 4 to contract 2020-15 with Northern Construction Services LLC of Palmer, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $160,000 to stabilize the revetment slope in the vicinity of 532 Ocean Street by adding stone, and the chairman or designee is authorized to sign the change order when the documents are prepared. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Okay, thank you, Rod.
Thank you.
That'll stop a few phone calls.
I'm sure.
Until the next storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be out of that, so.
Yep, okay. The next item is under discussion, and that is one I requested, this recycling of lithium-ion batteries. As I think we're all aware, they are becoming the power source of preference for just about everything you have, little kids' scooters, other different self-propelled electrical devices. Almost all of the, there was no documentation on this. This is,
Yeah.
my intent here is, to charge engineering to begin investigating, storage that would be basically fire safe, because lithium batteries can be a fire hazard. And as we accumulate more and more of them, they're there. And also, I think we ought to, after investigation, request that, to engineering, Tom, draft a letter, for our state representation, the senator and the representatives, both of them, as well as the governor's office, to, come up with some kind of legislation that actually specifies and stipulates the form and method of recycling of this lithium material, because it is reusable, it can be reused.
Yeah, right now it's being just dumped in the trash.
Yeah, no, and then, that should stop. I mean, part of what motivated me on this is I pulled down my 10-year
Battery.
fire extinguisher, and of course, the lithium battery was in there, because I disassembled it, I also did to take the battery out. There also was a capacitor in there, which should also be recycled, because the material that is toxic in the capacitor systems too, typically. So bottom line to me is, we ought to try to get out in front on this before we get more and more of these. You know, they are a hazard, like if there's a fire on one of them that's running some kid's, you know, self-propelled scooter,
Pretty,
you know, they
high
drown
temperature.
it. They, after they put it out with a Class C, you know, carbon dioxide type extinguisher to stop the fire, the instructions to the fire department is put it in the bathtub and flood it. Or some other method, you know, so that means to me that if we're gonna be storing these things, you know, as we go forward, whether for disposal or whether for recycling, that it is gonna be necessary to have something that is basically fire resistant for its storage and something that, where we can drown it if we have to.
Is there gonna be a place at the recycling center that we could, collect them versus put them in the trash?
Yeah, right now, what they're doing, like for the, when they get people that bring back smoke detectors, because some of the older ones, the ionizing units, they actually have a low source radiation unit in them. They put those into a container unit they have there. You know, they go back, are separately handled, I guess, by Republic because of that, among other things. Same story with the
So-
10-year units. But right now, it's mixed in with everything else that goes in there.
Right, my point is, people who live at home
Yeah.
have batteries, have, smoke detectors, have
Yeah,
carbon dioxide.
Self-
Well, where do they put those? They're not recyclable.
They're not
They're
recyclable.
really not, they really shouldn't be in the trash.
No, agree.
So, but we have no vehicle to do a collection of it, and what do we do it when we collect them?
And I mean, right now, they basically, I don't know if we've included them under the household hazardous waste, I don't think they are. But the bottom line is that would be one venue for them on an annualized basis. The other venue would be for us to set up something after researching how to best approach it, you know, for ourselves. And, you know, if necessary, you know, a contract price from the public to handle it, you know, and process it appropriately. You know, it would be kind of like getting your tag for your tires or your propane bottle or whatever else you're getting rid of, that we do now.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, you get your acid lead batteries that.
Yeah, well, they're,
But they-
they're recyclable and they get money out of that. We don't charge for
No,
those.
yeah, but I'm just thinking about all the other batteries we got out there, you know, they don't
Well,
belong
the
in
the alkaline batteries are not considered a hazard,
Yeah.
which is, you know, with most of the AA's, AAA's and the like, are, you know, C cells, D cells are all, you know. So, I mean, you know, to me, this is the one to address now because we know this is where we're headed in the world right now, is to the rechargeable lithium units. And ultimately, you know, they're gonna die, they deplete, you have to get rid of them. And, you know, they're gonna become more and more of an issue as we go forward.
So my discussion here is.
Yeah, it's discussion.
This is there something on the website that directs people of how to, and what kind of batteries will go here versus there on the solid waste website for the town of Marshfield?
My memory on this, Tom, if I might, is that, you know, we do, lithiums are not specifically stated in that, as I recall it. You know, the only thing that was listed was, you know, the fact that, like, you can take an alkaline battery and put it into the trash because it breaks down and stuff. You know, the lead acid, you know, we did say those are disposable at the transfer station or back at the facilities from which you buy them. They're glad to recycle them too, just like waste oil is, you know, same
Yeah,
story under the
they
state.
have that drop-off
Yeah.
up there. I'll double check on the batteries, but I do believe I've seen batteries up there with the
Right.
paint inside. They keep them locked.
Yeah, those are usually the acid batteries.
Right.
Yeah, but
But
they,
what I'm talking about, you know, what Dave's talking about.
Lithium.
You know, there's the alkaline, there's the lithium, I mean, cars are going to have
Yeah.
batteries. It's going to become a problem more as everything becomes more and more electric.
yeah.
The perfect example is the electric drills
Yeah.
and saws.
Right,
Right.
exactly where it's going. The portable power tools for
Right.
those are the batteries that probably gonna become our next major problem. You get enough of them clustered together, and you can have the same kind of fire that you have to fight with a storage battery for photovoltaic.
Right.
You know, so
And the
that's where
12s
we need to
are
go.
already pretty much obsolete now.
Yeah.
They're all at the 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
are they bringing these to the transfer station now?
we have the battery collection area, and right now, we're not really specifically detailing, to my knowledge, that. That's part of what this discussion is about, is
I understand.
in talking, I talked to Diane, and she's basically told me, you know, that, you know, they handle them with the batteries, and I said, well, I mean, the lithiums, you know, particularly if we're putting them in the paint shed, well, we just added them to some fuel.
Right, right.
You know,
Well, I mean.
Yeah, so, to me, that's why I wanted to put this discussion forth, so that we can direct staff to, you know, start working research on it and give us a
Yeah,
plan
we
on
can-
how we should proceed. So, that's my shot on that, I turn it over to you, gentlemen.
Well, we gotta notify the residents somehow.
Well,
Well, we have to have a plan first before we notify the residents.
Yeah, well, naturally, yeah,
Right.
we factor it, right?
Yeah, but then we would notify the residents.
So-
And I also think we should pursue it with our state legislative
Brilliant.
So
group.
is there a fact sheet that Mass DEP Waste Prevention has about batteries, the different types of batteries that we could refer to from our website to somebody else's?
Yeah.
And then say, what is the proper way of disposal of these or recycling them? And then, develop a plan from there.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's basically giving it to the engineering staff.
Right.
Ken Ryan will do what Paul would have done, which is exactly that.
Right.
Research what's there already done instead, and then from there, to me, that's when we proceed.
Right.
Once he gets the plan back to us for us to vet and proceed with.
I think it's an excellent idea. I think that, I think.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to, Mr. Shaughnessy has spoken his support, and you've spoken
Yeah,
yours, so,
okay.
you're so charged, Tom.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, indirect costs.
I've seen that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Any feedback from the,
I have had a conversation with Mr. Darcy. He is supposed to be pulling together the comments from his fellow board members, and he and I were gonna meet to go over what I presented, and this board
I saw
approved.
that. It was really
In addition to that, I'll turn it over to Tom or Dan, because we did have a meeting with the town administrator and the treasurer collector. I will synopsize it, I guess, is we are getting hit with charges which, shouldn't belong there, such as town hall, which we've been out of for over a year.
Yep.
The highway garage, which basically, that's been gone for us, and water's getting the hit on that, and the bottom line comes down on that is, they're not anywhere near the garage. The only place they are is a 35 parsonage outside of their trailer. So those were a couple of the obvious pushbacks, and then we have some other questions that Tom raised when we were there regarding the charges from accounting, information technology, which is one of the things I questioned. I wanted to have documentation of Dave Kelly's actual time for us. I did get a reply from the treasurer on that, and she said, well, it's 49 and 51. I said, no, I didn't want to know how it was allocated. I wanted
Yeah.
it's there. And she said, oh, I misunderstood, and I'm sitting there going to myself, only because you wanted to.
Yeah, right.
And then, likewise, the treasurer collected the basis for her, likewise for the town of the selectmen. Backing into this, it appears to me, and Dan, I don't know whether you did a follow-up or not, or Tom, but it appears to me they are still segregating the school out. And we have another meeting to go with them, John, and the intention on that is, I'm gonna make the point, okay, we have the 2015 protocol, but the bottom line is, there's one out there under review, that's number one. Number two, that is silent when it comes to what's in the general fund. It basically just says the general fund. It doesn't say whether you have the school in there or a school out. And the new 2021 guideline from DOR specifically says the whole town
Correct.
budget.
Correct.
Which we put into the revision. So that's gonna be the pushback we have at the next meeting on that. What we get out of that, we don't know. But if they're not willing to come, it's an act of good faith to basically provide us those gifts. And if they don't, to me, then, okay, this board shouldn't approve. It
Yeah.
reverts, the prior year.
Well,
Which was the
right.
prior year again.
It doubles the percentages.
Yeah, oh, I know. Trust me.
Yeah, I think, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were out of there in January
Yeah.
of
January, yep.
20, right?
January 20.
Oh,
We were in this building January 20.
Yeah, and I mean, the other point on it, though, is, the only thing left from Public Works was engineering records. And the majority of the engineering records that were still in the vault on the second floor were basically town records, not water per se, not sewer per se, and not solid waste per se. Most of those records are
Yeah.
subdivisions and everything else but that. Because most of the other information you brought down here when you moved down, because that's the stuff we work with all the time.
Right.
Sorry, we're in this building 2021.
21.
Yeah, we had 2 years this coming January.
I'm sorry?
We'll be here 2 years this coming
Yeah,
January.
yeah, and so for the next coming year, I mean, there's no reason for any
Right.
charge for those things, and, that's where we sit with it right now on the indirects, John.
This
I
barn
am
was
gonna be,
developed prior to that.
I am gonna be pinging
Right.
again on Mr. Darcy about, well, where are you with that? You know, and I'm sure right now, it's, you know, this is my personal feeling, you know, delay on any decision from the board of select board, excuse me, you know, obviously lets them keep playing on the 2015 guideline, you know. But I'm gonna make a point to Steve that a good faith item one would be to recognize these charges don't belong when it comes to the garage and it comes to the town hall.
Of course.
And, you know, using the whole town budget would be a nice, good faith effort and extent for you guys for going forward. Because that's what the 2021 guidelines say. It's the whole town budget.
That's
It's a
correct.
DOR 2020.
2021, right.
And I think that, I'm gonna look again at that methodology. I really believe it did say total town budget in there.
I didn't come across it, but if
I'm
you
gonna
find
look-
it, you
yeah,
tell me.
I'm-
That would be helpful.
When they,
Yeah.
I'll look for it. I thought I read it like a fairly decent number.
Nice, yep, anyway. Well, it might have been because the copy I was working from was your crossovers at Green Line, so you might have blotted it out.
I'll
that
double
way.
check it, yeah.
Okay, so that's all I had there. And I think we've kind of hit the third item, which is the methodology changes
Yeah.
already, so.
Yeah. That would,
Okay.
yeah.
Superintendent's report?
Yes.
Unless you have any more, Bob? I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you
Now, you
off.
wanna do the open meeting minutes first?
Yeah, yeah, we should do the minutes, I'm sorry, thank you. Yep. I have read them, and I was satisfied with them.
I've read them too.
Okay.
I'm disappointed on some of the stuff, but town meeting will take care of that.
Did you read them? You looked
Yeah, I'm
at
all
them?
set.
Okay. I move that we accept as written the meetings from August 8th, 2022. Do I have a second?
Second.
There's a second, that's a lot of work, Anne Marie.
Yep, you did.
Definitely.
You did a fine job of scrivening.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're into
It's a lot
superintendent's
of work
report.
to get it right.
It is,
Very good, thank you.
yeah.
We're waiting on the dates for paving. So I know we've been trimming trees up on Oak Street, getting ready up there. Saw cut Circuit Ave for the water main work. They should be starting that in the near, very few days. Gas service on Surf Avenue is ongoing. I think they had over 100 that they had to do. So they've been working sad days to try to get that finished up. I think they made their connection at Ocean. That's got a plate on it right now, so.
I think I saw the truck leaving, it was ahead of me.
Yeah, they were working out there today again. So we're waiting on the granite curb for Webster Square. Coat Cemetery plantings and walkway, we're finishing that up on the Colbriums. That's coming along nice. The Vector and the Tilt trailer have been delayed until December from the factories.
How confident are we they'll actually deliver that?
Well, they were supposed to be here in September. Both of them have now been pushed out to December. I don't know. I keep my fingers crossed for that. The Mack truck is here and is being sent to Donovan to be outfitted. That truck we ordered a year ago, April.
You come with tires?
It comes with tires
Look at
this
that.
time. Oh, yes. They weren't gonna come with tires, but, they were gonna come with
White
white
tires.
But the one-ton dump
That's
truck
true.
is just about finished up at Donovan and should be coming back. That's the highway. The sidewalk plows are going to be month by month. They told me that we may not see them until after the first of the year, but on the October 15th, they'll have a list of what's coming in October. And then November 15th, they'll have a list of what's coming in November. So each month, they'll let the dealers know what's coming in from their orders. But they're backlogged. We ordered these, I think in June, sometime in June, right after town meeting. We applied for the hazardous mitigation grant. We sent a statement of interest. to replace the dike road, tide gates, sluice ways. It's a price of 5.8 million. The seawall repair bid docs are in hand, plan to bid in a few weeks. Minus seawall cap repairs from the Fairview to the trailer park, work in spring of 2023, complete by the end of May. We also are right now in the process of accepting applications for the cemetery trees and greens and engineering administrative assistant. And we're collecting those applications now, and we'll start the interviews at some point down the road. That's pretty much it for me.
You gonna have a committee for that interviews?
We have a committee, when we interview as a team all the time.
Who's on the team?
Dan, myself, and the
Okay.
human resource,
Danielle?
Danielle.
All right,
Very good, okay.
thank you.
Okay, I have a motion to enter executive, you're done, Tom, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I asked that first. I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss pending litigation. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
You gotta poll the
We have to
board.
poll the board. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom. Polls?
Chairman Carrier.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Cusick.
Aye.
Yep.
Clerk Shaughnessy.
Aye,
Okay.
So moved
we are
unanimously.
not coming back?
No.
We will
We will not be returning to public session.